Good afternoon everyone, we're the Group 7 and today we will be discussing the soil chemistry.
I'm gonna sharing to you all first the importance of soil in ecosystem function. Soil provides ecosystem services critical for life. Soil acts as a water filter and a growing medium, provides habitats for a billion organisms, contributing to biodiversity and supplies most of the antibiotics used to fight diseases. Soils are a vital components of ecosystem because the majority of plants grow in soil. And I'm gonna sharing to you how can we help soil in ecosystem. Support for plant growth. Soil provides physical support and encourage for plant roots, allowing them to access water, nutrients, and oxygen essential for growth and development. Carbon sequestration. Soil stores a significant amount of carbon mainly in the form of organic matter. Filtering and purification. Soil acts as a natural filter, removing pollutants and impurities from water as it percolates through. Nutrient cycling. Soil serves as a reservoir for essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which are vital for plant growth. Water regulation. Soil acts as a sponge, storing and releasing water as needed. Habitats and biodiversity. Soil provides habitats for a vast array of organisms from bacteria and fungi to insects and small mammals.
The basic need of human being is food. It is the agriculture only which fulfills this need for the entire population of the world. Plants are called producers as they synthesize their own food using carbon dioxide from air and water from soil, utilizing sunlight as source of energy by a process known as photosynthesis. The rest of the food chain consists of consumers only. The practice of producing crops and livestock from the natural resources of the earth is called agriculture. The role of chemistry in agriculture can be classified as follows. Photosynthesis. This natural process provides the basic building for all the agricultural products. During photosynthesis, plants take in carbon dioxide and water from the air and soil. Within the plant cell, the water is oxidized, meaning it loses electrons, while the carbon dioxide is reduced, meaning it gains electrons. This transforms the water into oxygen and the carbon dioxide into glucose. No chemical process is more important to life on Earth than photosynthesis. Without photosynthesis, not only would there be no plants, the planet could not sustain life of any kind. Fertilizer is any organic or inorganic material of natural or synthetic origin that is added to a soil to supply one or more plant nutrients essential to the growth of plants. A recent assessment found that about 40 to 60 of crop yields are attributable to commercial fertilizer use. Fertilizers can be divided into two categories, organic and inorganic. Organic fertilizers are derived from living system and include animal manure, fish and bone meal, and compost. These organic fertilizers are decomposed by microorganisms in the soil to release their nutrients for use by plants. Fertilizers also provide micronutrients which are required in much smaller quantities, namely boron, copper, iron, manganese, molybdenum, and zinc. Inorganic fertilizer is synthesized using the Haber-Bosch process, which produces ammonia as the end product. This ammonia is used for other nitrogen fertilizers such as anhydrous, ammonium nitrate, and urea. Now, fertilizers with slow release of nutrients have been developed. Appropriate use of fertilizers to increase crop yield has counterbalanced loss of land due to urbanization and significantly supported global population growth. It has been estimated that almost half of the people on the earth are currently fed as the result of synthetic nitrogen fertilizer use. In agriculture, the threat of crop damage by pests is a significant concern for farmers worldwide. To have an action about this issue, a wide array of chemicals collectively known as pesticides are used. Pesticides come in various forms and serve different purposes. One category, known as insecticides, specifically targets insects due to detrimental effects on crops. Insecticides are crucial for several reasons. First is prevention of disease spread. Insects can serve as carriers for disease that can afflict livestock. By targeting and eliminating these insects, the spread of disease is curtailed, safeguarding the health of livestock population. Second is protection against grain loss. Stored grain are vulnerable to infestation by insects, which can rapidly consume and spoil the harvest. Insecticides help prevent such losses by effectively controlling insect population in storage facilities. Chemistry in other areas of agriculture. Plastic pipes for improved irrigation. The utilization of plastic pipes in irrigation systems represent a significant advancement in agricultural technology. By harnessing the properties of plastic, farmers can optimize water usage, promote crop growth, and contribute to environmental sustainability. Plastic pipes offer numerous advantages over traditional materials such as metal or clay. They are lightweight, durable, and resistant to corrosion and chemical degradation. Their flexibility allows for easy installation and adaptation to agricultural layouts. The impact of irrigation is improved water distribution and management result in optimal moisture levels for crops, enhancing growth and yields. Consistent and reliable irrigation promote soil health and minimize water wastage, contributing to sustainable agriculture practices. As the agricultural landscape continues to evolve, the role of plastic pipes remains indispensable in ensuring efficient and effective irrigation practices. Storage and preservation of agriculture produce. Sulfur dioxide, sodium benzoate, and salicylic acid, and new generation refrigerants play a significant role in extending the shelf life of perishable goods, ensuring food safety and meeting consumers' demand for fresher, longer-lasting products. Sulfur dioxide, a widely utilized food preservative, serves as a key agent in maintaining the freshness and usability of grain products. Its antimicrobial properties inhibit the growth of bacteria, mold, and fungi, thereby preventing spoilage and degradation of grain quality. Sodium benzoate and salicylic acid prolong shelf life. Sodium benzoate and salicylic acid are potent preservatives commonly employed to extend the shelf life of a diverse range of food products. These compounds exert antimicrobial effects, impeding the proliferation of yeast, bacteria, molds, and to contribute Sodium benzoate and salicylic acid prolong shelf life. Sodium benzoate and salicylic acid are potent preservatives commonly employed to extend the shelf life of a diverse range of food products. These compounds exert antimicrobial effects, impeding the proliferation of yeast, bacteria, and molds that contribute to food spoilage. The food beverages to canned goods. Sodium benzoate and salicylic acid are integral components of food preservation strategies, preserving freshness and quality. Chemicals from agricultural waste. Agricultural waste, once considered a disposal challenge, has emerged as a promising resource for chemical production thanks to innovative advancement in chemistry. Residual biomass from agricultural activities, such as bagasse from sugar cane processing, presents an abundant and renewable feedstock for chemical synthesis. By diverting agricultural waste from landfills and incineration, the utilization of waste as a resource mitigates environmental pollution and contributes to sustainable waste management practices. Bagasse, the fibrous residue remaining the sugarcane processing, serves as an ideal feedstock for the production of alcohol through chemical conversion processes. Through biochemical and chemical processes, bagasse undergoes conversion into alcohol, primarily ethanol, utilizing enzymes or catalysts to facilitate fermentation or chemical reactions. The production of alcohol from bagasse not only generates a valuable commodity, but also adds economic value to agricultural waste, transforming it into a revenue-generating resource. Through innovative chemicals processes, agricultural waste exemplified by bagasse is transformed into valuable chemicals, offering economic, environmental, and societal benefits. Basic properties of soil particles. The various properties of soil include color, texture, humus, and soil structure. Color, the foremost physical property that can be seen with naked eye, and is useful in interpretation of valuable insight into the soil environment. Thus, it can be very important in assessment and classification of soil. Different soil color. The most influential colors in a well-drained soil are white, red, brown, and black. White indicates the predominance of silica or the presence of salt. Red indicates the accumulation of iron oxides. Brown and black indicate the level and type of organic matter. A color triangle can be used to show the names and relationships between the influential colors. To determine soil color should be determined on the moist surface of freshly broken, not sliced, soil samples. Like any other soil's property, color must always be observed throughout soil profile, paying special attention to the differences between soil horizons. Color characteristics such as model size, percentage, and contrast should be observed and recorded. Texture refers to the size of particles, and there are three types of it. First is the sand, also known as the large. Silt is the medium, and clay is the small. Texture is equals to percentage of sand, silt, and clay. Humus, dark brown or black organic substance made up of decayed plant or animal organic matter that provides nutrients for plants and increases ability of soil to retain water. In soil science, humus refers to any organic matter that has reached a point of stability where it will break down no further and might, if conditions do not change, remain as it is for centuries. Humus significantly improves the structure of soil and contributes to moisture and nutrients retention. In the agriculture, humus is sometimes also used to describe mature compost or natural compost extracted from a forest or other spontaneous source for use to amend soil. It is also used to describe a topsoil horizon that contains organic matter. Humus also controls the color of soil. The higher the humus content, the darker is the soil color. Soil structure. The soil structures are commonly seen are blocky, flatty, massive, prismatic, and granular. First is blocking. Particles that cling together in angular aggregates. Typical soils with high clay content. Second is flatty. Plate-like and arranged in overlapping horizontal layers. Third is massive. Soil that has no visible structure. It is hard to break apart and appears in very large clods. Fourth is prismatic. Prismatic structure are bounded by flat to rounded vertical faces. Units are longer vertically and top of the prism are normally flat. Last is granular. It is the best for most plants. Particles cling together to form rounded aggregates. Soil formation and classification.
Soil formation. Soil formation occurs continuously but slowly from the gradual breaking down of the rocks by processes of weathering. Weathering can be physical, chemical, as well in biological processes. The soil is considered to be one of the most essential natural resources, and it is the base of the growth of vegetation, on which our nutrition and livelihood depend. Soil is also the main source on which many microorganisms, such as earthworms, rates, and several other species live. The soil forms continuously but slowly from a gradual breakdown of rocks by weathering. Soil formation takes place through a plethora of processes, which include the weathering of the rocks and mixing of rock materials with organic debris, which is formulated by decay of plants. Other processes include the slow chemical alteration of water that seeps through the weathered rock material after rains. Weathering is the process by which rocks are broken down to form smaller particles, which ultimately leads to soil formation that includes both geological sediments and organic debris. It takes around 500 years from the formation of 1 centimeter of soil from harder rocks. Combined processes of physical, chemical, and biological factors, including weathering of rocks under environmental conditions, lead to soil formation, a mixture of biotic and abiotic components, all of which make the soil fertile, which is sustainable for the growth of plants or agriculture. What is soil? Soil refers to the uppermost layer of the surface of the earth, and it's formed by processes of weathering of mountains over thousands of years. The main components of soil is made up include minerals, organic materials, water, and air. The essential components on which the texture of soil depends include sand, silt, clay, leaf, as well as organic constituent helps in decomposing upper organic layer known as the humus, and humus plays a very significant role in fertility. 5 factors of the soil formation are parent material, climate, biota, time, and topography. Soil classification, factors and formation processes. Soils are complex mixture of minerals, organic matter, water, and air that support plant growth and provide a habitat for many microorganisms and animals. Soils are formed over time through the weathering of rock and the accumulation of the organic matter. Basic soil processes. Soil enrichment or addition refers to the process of adding nutrients or organic matter to the soil to improve its fertility and productivity. The materials are deposited on the soil from above, as well as materials moving in from below with rising groundwater. Also of use are addition of minerals, materials due to flooding, landslide, and other geologic events. Perhaps not so obvious is the nearly constant addition of atmospheric dust to the soil surface. Soil, the biologically active porous medium that has developed in the uppermost layers of the Earth's crust. Soils are made up of our main components, mineral particles, organic matter, water, and air. The mineral particles provide the basic structure of the soils and are composed mainly of clay, silt, and sand. The organic matter is composed of dead plants and animal materials, and is important for soil fertility. The water and air found in soils are essential for the survival of soils, organisms, and plants. Soils can be classified into different types based on their physical and chemical properties, such as texture, structure, and nutrient content.
Soil components and minerals.
I will be discussing soil particles categorized in 3 groups: sand, silt, clay, and their properties. Let's talk about particle size. Sand particles are the largest among soil particles, with diameter ranging from 0.05 mm to 2 mm. In terms of texture, sand has low water retention. This means water drains quickly through sand, making it less suitable for retaining moisture. However, sand's good aeration is a benefit. The spaces between particles promote air circulation, which is crucial for root growth and microbial activity. On the downside, sand has a low nutrient retention capacity. This means it requires frequent fertilization in agricultural application to ensure adequate nutrient levels for plant growth. Low nutrient retention capacity makes it a unique soil component with both advantages and challenge. Silt is another important soil component with unique characteristics. Silt particles are intermediate between sand and clay, with diameter ranging from 0.002 mm to 0.05 mm. In terms of texture, silt feels smooth and flour-like to the touch. Silt has moderate water retention capacity compared to sand and clay. It can hold into moisture better than sand but not as much as clay. When it comes to aeration, it has less pore space compared to sand, but more than clay, allowing for adequate air circulation. Silt has a moderate nutrient retention capacity, making it suitable for agricultural use without excessive bleaching. This means nutrients are retained in the soil and available for plant uptakes. In summary, silt intermediate particle size, smooth texture, moderate water retention, fair aeration, and moderate nutrient retention capacity makes it versatile soil component ideal for various agricultural applications. Clay is a fundamental component of soil, known for its unique properties and challenges. Clay particles are the smallest among soil particles, with diameters less than 0.002 mm. In terms of texture, clay feels sticky and plastic when wet, and hard and compacted when dry. Clay has high water retention due to its small particles size and high surface area, leading to slow drainage.
Soil pH and buffering capacity.
Soil pH and buffering capacity are critical aspects of soil chemistry that gently influence the health and productivity of terrestrial ecosystem. This report aims to comprehensive understanding of soil pH and its importance and the factors influencing it. Soil pH is the measure of soil acidity and alkalinity, specifically the inverse log of hydrogen ion concentration on a scale from 0 to 14. Neutral pH around 7 with acid below 7 and bases being from 7 to 14. Therefore, a change from a pH value of 5 to a pH value of 4 indicate a times 10 increase in hydrogen ion. Most soil have pH value between 4 to 10. Most soil in low have a pH between 5.5 to 7.5. More weather soil generally have lower pH value, with soil in rigid region having higher pH value due to accumulations of calcium or sodium. Some soil have higher buffering capacity or ability to resist change. In higher organic matter or those high in particular clays, those with higher CEC values, the same management will a lesser impact on pH. Therefore, when trying to raise the pH, additional lime or input will be required. Soil pH is a measure of a soil acidity or alkalinity, specifically the inverse logarithmic of hydrogen ion concentration. It is measured on a scale from 0 to 40. A pH value of 7 is considered neutral. Values below 7 acidity and values from 7 to 14 indicate alkalinity. For example, a change from a pH value of 5 to a pH value of 4 indicates a 10-fold increase in the concentrations of hydrogen ion. Most soil have pH value ranging from 4 to 10. Consider a perfectly hot large pot coffee versus a cup freshly poured in your hand. Predict which would change temperature mostly quick if an ice cube were added. The larger volume of coffee pot makes the temperature change more slowly than your cup and has a higher ability to resist the temperature change. This would be the higher buffering capacity in the soil example. Small changes in either direction, either an ice cube added or perhaps 30 seconds in the microwave, would be expected to have a bigger change on temperature of your cup than the large of coffee pot. Soil pH is sometimes considered the master value that has several impact on plant nutrient and plant growth. Soil pH also impact or interact with other properties in the soil. Soil pH is often referred to as the master value because it has a significant impact on plant nutrients and overall plant growth. The pH level of the soil affects the availability of essential nutrients to the plant. It interacts with other soil properties like soil structure, microbacterial activity, maintaining the approximately soil pH is crucial for nutrients availability, healthy plant growth, and maximizing crop productivity. Factors influencing soil pH. Number 1. Parent material. The original pH of the parent material, which can be mineral rock or organic matter, influences the initial pH of the soil. Soils derived from the limestone, for example, tend to be alkaline, while those from granite are usually acidic. Number 2. Nitrogen fertilizations. Over time, repeated applications of nitrogen fertilizations can lower soil pH. Nitrogen fertilizations undergo processes in the soil that release acids, leading to a gradual decrease in pH. Number 3. Management for a particular crop. Agricultural lime or liming materials can be added to a raised pH of soils, making it less acidic. This is often done to create more favorable environment for a certain crop that prefers slightly alkaline conditions. On the other hand, if a particular crop requires acidic soils, elemental sulfur or acidifying materials can be added to a lower pH. Number 4. Time. Over time, the soil's pH can change due to various factors. One such factor is the removal of phase formication through processes like weathering or cultivations. As base formications are depleted, the soil pH can decrease. Number 5. Buffering capacity. The buffering capacity of soils refers to its ability to resist changes in pH. Soils with a higher buffering capacity are slower to change in pH to respond to external factors compared to soils with a lower buffering capacity. This means that with a soil with a higher buffering capacity will be more resistant to pH changes caused by the same actions that may significantly lower pH in another soil.
I'm going to discuss soil organic matter, the composition and sources of it. But before we proceed to the next slide, let us first define what is soil organic matter. So soil organic matter is any material produced originally by living organisms, plant or animal, that is returned to the soil and goes through the decomposition process. Let us now discuss the difference between the composition and sources of soil organic matter. This means we're going to look at how soil organic matter is made up, which is composition, and where it comes from, which is sources. To understand them better, let's move forward to explain how composition and sources of soil organic matter work together and affect soil health. Here we're going to discuss how both the things that make up soil organic matter and where they come from interact to keep soil healthy, which make it easier to grow plants and crops. This means that once we talk about what soil organic matter is made of and where it comes from, we will use that information to find ways to keep soil healthy for growing food and plants. Composition of soil organic matter. Composition refers to the various components that make up soil organic matter, including plant residues, microbial biomass, root exudates, humus, and animal residues. These constituents undergo decomposition processes, contributing to soil fertility and structure. The composition of soil organic matter defines the organic materials present in the soil and their roles in supporting soil health and fertility. It emphasizes the diversity of organic input and their contribution to soil ecosystem dynamics. Plant residue encompass materials like leaves, stems, and roots, contributing to soil organic matter through natural processes and agricultural practices. These materials undergo decomposition by soil microorganisms, releasing nutrients essential for plant growth and soil structure enhancement. Microbial biomass comprises live microorganisms including bacteria, fungi, algae, and protozoa, which actively contribute to soil organic matter through their metabolic process. Soil microbes decompose organic matter, converting it into forms accessible to plants, thereby facilitating nutrient cycling and enhancing soil fertility. Root exudates refers to organic compounds released by plant roots into the soil, nourishing soil microbes and aiding in soil organic matter formation. These compounds serve as a direct energy source for soil microorganisms, fostering a symbiotic relationship that benefits both plants and soil health. Humus, the enduring form of organic matter, results from the decomposition of plant material by soil microorganisms, contributing significantly to soil organic matter. Humus improves soil structure, water retention, and nutrient availability, representing a stable reservoir of organic matter crucial for long-term soil fertility. Animal residues, including carcasses, feces, and other waste, contribute to soil organic matter through decomposition process. Animal-derived organic matter enriches the soil with nutrients supporting microbial activity, enhancing overall soil fertility and health. Characteristics and roles of each component in soil health and fertility. Each component of soil organic matter plays a distinct role in soil health and fertility. Plant residues provide essential nutrients and foster nutrient cycling. Microbial biomass facilitates organic matter decomposition and nutrient release. Humus enhances soil structure and nutrient retention. Root exudates nourish soil microbes and improve nutrient uptake, and animal residues contribute to nutrient cycling and soil fertility. Imagine an agricultural system. Crop residues left on the soil surface to contribute to soil organic matter, improving soil structure and water retention while supporting microbial activity essential for nutrient availability. Sources of soil organic matter. Sources encompass the origin of organic materials that contributes to soil organic matter, including natural processes and human activities. Natural sources include plant residues, microbial biomass, root exudates, and animal residues derived from environmental processes. Imagine in a grassland ecosystem. The decomposition of plant roots and grazing animal waste contributes to soil organic matter formation over time. Sources of soil organic matter describes the pathways through which organic materials enter the soil ecosystem. Natural sources arise from ecological processes, while anthropogenic sources result from human interventions in soil management. Natural sources derived from environmental processes. Natural sources include plant residues, microbial biomass, root exudates, and animal residues. These materials contribute to soil organic matter through organic matter turnover in natural ecosystem. Plant residues. Plant residues are a component of soil organic matter, representing the organic material derived directly from plants. They contribute to the composition of soil organic matter but are not the entirety of it. Microbial biomass refers to the living organisms within the soil that contribute to the formation and breakdown of organic matter. While they are a vital part of soil organic matter, they are not the organic matter itself, but rather agents involved in its creation and decomposition. Root exudates. Root exudates are organic compounds released by living plants, serving as a source of energy for soil microbes and contributing to the formation of soil organic matter. They are a process involved in the creation of organic matter rather than the organic matter itself. Animal residues represent the organic material derived from animal sources that decompose and integrate into soil organic matter. Like plant residues, they contribute to the composition of soil organic matter but are not the entire composition themselves. Anthropogenic sources is the result from human activities. It includes organic amendments and synthetic organic compounds. These materials are intentionally added to soil to enhance soil organic matter content or inadvertently introduced through agricultural practices. Example here is the application of composted manure to agricultural fields increases soil organic matter content, promoting soil fertility and reducing reliance on synthetic fertilizers. Organic amendments are natural materials intentionally added to soil to enhance its organic matter and fertility, whereas synthetic organic compounds are human-made substances that can also become part of soil organic matter but are less common and may have distinct effect on soil health and in the environment.
Nutrient cycles in soil.
Nutrient cycles in soil refers to the movement and transformation of essential elements such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and carbon within the soil environment. These nutrients are critical for plant growth and are constantly recycled through various biochemical processes. These nutrient cycles in soil are interconnected and play a vital role in maintaining soil fertility and supporting plant growth. Proper management practices such as crop rotation, cover cropping, and composting can help to enhance nutrient cycling in soil and improve soil health. The nitrogen cycle in soil is a critical process that involves the transformation and movement of nitrogen, an essential element for plant growth. Nitrogen is a primarily sourced from the atmosphere and is converted into a usable form for plants through various biological and chemical processes. Nitrogen is a key component of soil organic matter and is required by plants in large quantities. It, it is often the first limiting nutrient in prior cropping system. Nitrogen forms a part of every living cell. It is an essential component of amino acids, the building blocks for proteins. The amount of N supplies to plants influence the production of plants proteins such as enzymes, mitochondria, and carrier storage and structural proteins. Chlorophyll is the N-based plant component responsible for photosynthesis. The amount of chlorophyll in a plant is reflected by the shades of green in plant leaves. Therefore, plant leaves can provide a visual clue to the N status of a crop.
Soil contamination and remediation. Sources of soil contamination: heavy metals, pesticides, pollutants. With a simple negligence and responsibility of cleaning and saving the environment can cause toxicity within the area. And sa simpleng pagtulong, prevention or remedies can also revive or maintain the cleanliness and healthiness of the environment, especially soil. Soil pollution or contamination is often caused by the uncontrolled disposal of sewage and other liquid waste resulting from domestic uses of water. Industrial waste containing a variety of pollutants, agricultural, influence from animal husbandry, and drainage of irrigation water and urban runoff. There are so many products that can cause soil contamination, such as heavy metals, pesticides, and pollutants. Common contaminants in urban soils include pesticides, petroleum products, radon, asbestos, lead, chromated copper, arsenate, and creosote. In urban areas, soil contamination is largely caused by human activities. Also, metals in soil reach through many sources which include atmospheric deposition, improper disposal of the industrial solid and liquid waste, mining activities, sewage, and using of pesticide and fertilizers. According to PreventionWeb.com, hazardous contamination in soils. According to PreventionWeb.com, hazardous contamination in soils often results from improper storage of obsolete agrochemicals, as a result of which pesticides are spilled in the surroundings of the storage site, where they seep into the soil or are dispersed by wind. In some cases, pesticide spillage has been ongoing for many years. And with these problems that contributes to contamination or pollution can reduce with remediations.
I want to shed some light on a crucial process called remediation. But before that, let's define first what is remediation. Remediation is the process of removing contaminants from soil and water sites that have been polluted by industrial, manufacturing, mining, or commercial activities, thereby removing or reducing our exposure to the contaminants. You see, remediation is like the superhero of the environmental world. It swoops in to save the day when soil and water sites are polluted by industrial, manufacturing, mining, or commercial activities. Imagine our environment as a precious garden, but instead of flowers and trees, it's filled with contaminants from factories and mines. That's where remediation steps in. It's like the cleanup crew that removes these contaminants, making the environment safer and healthier for all of us. Let's move to soil remediation method. Soil remediation method aim to reduce the content of organic pollutants in the soil, improve its physical and chemical properties, and enhance its absorbability of organic pollutants. Now, when it comes to soil remediation, it's like giving our garden a makeover. The goal is to reduce the levels of organic pollutants in the soil, kind of like pulling out the weeds. But it doesn't stop there. Soil remediation also works to improve the soil's physical and chemical properties, making it more fertile and able to support life. It's like giving our garden a nutrient-rich soil that's perfect for growing beautiful plants. So, next time you see a polluted site, remember the superhero of remediation is there to save the day.
That's all for today, and thank you for listening.